Perhaps the most difficult question that philosophy asks is, what is the meaning of life? Almost all of the great philosophers have considered the questions. Many of them have offered an answer. Even though the question of the meaning of life may not require or even allow for a specific answer. This is what we'll consider in Module 2. What's the point? Even some of the great Christian minds of the ages, like St. Augustine and Martin Luther, have pondered the meaning of life. The book of Ecclesiastes is found in both the Hebrew and Christian Bible. This book revealed that even King Solomon himself wondered what the point of life was. Listen to the following verses taken from the book of Ecclesiastes. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. So I hated life, because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it is meaningless, like chasing after the wind. But let's hear the conclusion of this whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. King Solomon. Well, to guide your studies this week, we must first inquire what is the definition of the word meaning. First, you need to realize that linguistics have found this word depends on the context of our language. A word has meaning because of its sense in our very own English language. So the meaning of life could be said to be found in the context of our lives. Even the person who doesn't believe life has meaning at all. This is the belief called nihilism. It's a view that life is absurd, or the word absurd means that life has no meaning. However, if you think about it critically, the one who devotes his life to the view that life has no meaning will undoubtedly encounter other people's viewpoints in his life and be refuting their viewpoints of the meaning of life all throughout his own. So in essence, if you believe life has no meaning, you spend your life depending on and defending this, then actually the meaning of life gives your own life meaning. It's almost an odd argument, or it goes about in a circle. In this particular module, we're actually going to explore a variety of responses to the meaning of life. There are four main categories. First, that children give life meaning. Second, that God or a relationship with God gives life meaning. Third is that life has meaning if an afterlife is possible. And fourth, we've already mentioned this person. It is the person who in despair pronounces that life has no meaning at all. Now, to consider this more deeply, we will explore the various metaphors used to characterize what a meaningful life would look like. Since the question of life's meaning does not always have a specific answer, some philosophers think that metaphors can help us create meaning for our own lives. Here are some. Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important and capture the good times. Develop from the negatives, and if things don't turn out, just take another shot. And we all know this one from Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And how about this one? Life is like a buffet. You can have anything you want, but just don't put more on your plate than you can handle. And life is like an ocean. It can be calm and still or rough and rigid, but in the end, it is always beautiful. And one of my favorites is life is like monkey bars. You have to let go if you want to move on. Here are some of the common metaphors that are used in philosophy. Life is a game, story, a tragedy or comedy. Is your life a mission, or is your life all about art or adventure? Possibly your life is compressed around a disease that you're facing or a desire. Life could be nirvana for you. Nirvana is the Buddhist belief in a state of liberation from selfish cravings. Life could be altruism for you. This is the acting for the benefit of others, even if there's no apparent benefit to yourself. Maybe life is honor to you, serving your country, or life is suffering. Maybe your life is investment, or possibly your life is tied up in the relationships. George Rodrigue was a New Orleans artist, and he gained quite a bit of fame from his blue dog paintings. The dog was fashioned after his own pup, Tiffany, but he also incorporated some artistic features and the legend of the loup-garou, which transformed the blue dog into the ghost watchdog of the bayou. George Rodrigue was later commissioned to paint a gold or a yellow dog in honor of the New Orleans Saints. You'll notice myself and my son Daniel standing by a statue of the gold dog found in City Park in New Orleans, Louisiana. But the blue dog, the original blue dog, even pondered the question of life's meaning. Let's listen to why Rodrigue said that he painted the blue dog's eyes yellow. The yellow eyes are really the soul of the dog. He has this piercing stare. People say the dog keeps talking to them with those eyes, always saying something different. People who have seen a blue dog painting always remember it. They are really about life, about mankind searching for answers. The dog never changes position. He just stares at you. And you're looking at him looking for some answers. Why are we here? And he's just looking back at you, wondering the same. The dog doesn't know. You can see this longing in his eyes, this longing for love, answers. Well, I certainly hope you have a productive week pondering the question of life's meaning.